Hello my fellow readers, today I'm going to be talking about the manga series, A School Frozen in Time. This is a full series review because the series is only 4 volumes long. They're out of order, but here they are. So it's only 4 volumes long. Originally, if it were going to be longer, I would have just reviewed the first half, but it's wrapped. We're done. I don't need to wait, and I'm really excited that I can just review it. So, A School Frozen in Time, the art is by Naoshi Arakawa, who did Your Lie in April, and the story is by Mizuki Sujimura. So there you go. And from the back of Volume 1, on a snowy school day like any other, classmates and childhood friends, Hiroshi and Mizuki arrive at school to find the campus eerily empty. Before long, they find themselves trapped inside with 6 other friends, and even stranger, all of the clocks have stopped at the very specific moment, the exact time when a former classmate jumped off the school roof to their death 3 months earlier. It turns out that this departed friend is their way out of their current predicament, and may even be among their group, but no one can remember who it was that took their life on that sad day. The students must then face themselves and their past memories to piece together the identity of this suicide victim, or risk a similar fate, with their lives lost and forgotten inside these frigid school walls. So yeah, this is a horror series. The horror is mild horror, with, I don't want to say about gore, but there is there's gore, but it's not direct gore. Does that make sense? There's no really on-screen violence, but obviously the topic is serious because this is the aftermath of a student suicide, as well as there will be blood. Dark things happening throughout the manga. There is the threat of death, or seemingly the threat of death, to these students as they get closer to the truth, I guess it would be. So let's rewind and we'll just talk about it a little bit, and maybe what I liked, I potentially didn't like. So when the story begins, yes, the students are coming back from a break. They're returning to class just like any other day. I don't remember if they make mention of some of the stuff, but I think they do. Right away, about the suicide that happened 3 months earlier at the school festival. But not much else is said about that. And here they are returning to school, not from a break from that, but it's just been I think winter break or something, and they're coming back to school. And then of course they get to school, and suddenly something's off about the school. They can't find anybody else, no teachers, no other students, and they don't know what's going on. They're is it potentially the snowstorm that's happening outside? They're not sure, but they do know, one, when they go to approach the front doors, they run into more of their friends, but then 2, when they go to the door, they can't get out. They are locked in this building, and there's no way to get out. And then the weird stuff starts happening, as if that wasn't weird enough. For example, when they were in the classroom, the teacher's lounge, I think it was left in the teacher's lounge, there was a class picture with that group of friends, but they felt like somebody was missing. Later, when they're suspicious about what's going on, they go to find the picture and it's gone. And people feel like somebody was missing from that picture, but they don't know who. Something just doesn't make sense about the whole thing. And then there's just a lot that unfolds from there. We'll usually follow a student, and it seems to be that as they get closer to remembering the truth about what happened those 3 months ago, the more at risk they are. And we see pretty early on, once they hit a point, it flashes to the rest of the characters, and when they go to find that other character, they're gone. And sometimes there's something gorish or horrific that seems to have happened. There might be blood all over, or just other similar seeming clues. So they're really torn about what is going on. They're also scared because their friends start disappearing and they don't know what's happening. Are their friends dead? So is this the ghost of a former friend who wants to get revenge on them, who wants to kill them? And if so, what was it that they did? They can't seem to remember any terrible treatment of somebody else. And that's kind of why they start suspecting one of the members of their group, because she had gone through a period of isolation, and I can't remember if she attempted suicide or was near attempting suicide. And they got her to, I guess, recover, for lack of a better word, and things have seemed to be better with her. But at the same time, they're all starting to suspect that it's her, and that maybe something did happen where now she's trying to get her revenge on them or the situation in general, but they're not really sure. So you kind of have a mistrust of any of the characters because you don't know what the full truth is, and you only start to see bits of the story kind of near when they're going to disappear from the story, if that makes sense. Overall, I enjoyed the work. I realized as I was reading that I had only owned like volumes 1 through 3, and then when I looked it up, I saw that there was 4, so I actually had to buy volume 4, I think, from Amazon to get it in so that I could finish the series. And it was bad because like I read volume 3 and then I had to wait like a couple of days, which I also did with Oh Maidens in Your Savage Season. And it's like the worst thing because I want to read the end and I have to wait until I get the ending. It was interesting. I mean, some of the reveals that happened towards the end of the series, I was a little bit like, wow, that's weird. But I think there were also points where it was sort of obvious about what was going on. Like, they obviously tried to throw in kind of the red herrings to where you'd think, oh no, maybe it's this. But nah. So, I don't know. I'm torn about that. Like, I wouldn't say it's the best, like, mystery twist or anything like that, but it was good. I was pulled into the story. It was engaging. I did want to keep reading. I did want to see what happened to the students. And of course, you know, what happens at the end. Were these students that were part of this weird occurrence killed? Like, are they dead? Or is it more like mental? Like a weird time loop where it's a mental journey rather than this actually happened and then the survivors are released back into their world. So I wanted to see which that was. I mean, I don't know. I was pulled into it. I wanted to read it. I think that the artwork was very much in Arakawa's style. But it was nice. I liked the artwork. I liked the characters' interaction. So anything I didn't, again, I won't say I didn't like this aspect of it, but because it wasn't like the most shocking of twists, I guess. Like that, it was just, kind of like, okay, so I wouldn't be like, 5 stars, but I'd be willing to give the series probably at least 4 stars because I did really like it. I found that whole engagement with the characters and what is going on and, are they dead and who is killing them off, until you get more to where you're like, okay, it's got to be this person, but are they really dead? Which is what I liked more, is like, are they really dead? What's going to happen at the end? I liked that aspect a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I would recommend A School Frozen in Time to those who are looking for a good kind of lighter horror with a bit more thrill involved, and then the emotional aspects of it because it deals so heavily with mental health. I would say, one, if you have mental health issues, make sure you're at a good place. But then, yes, I like that it deals with these issues, that it makes kind of you in general face your own thoughts and any mental health issues that you might have had or be having. It can help you to address that as well. Again, usually only if you're in like a safe space. If you feel more like you have that ideology about suicide, maybe hold off on it. I thought it was good. I liked how it had the whole mental health, friendship, the kind of the pain that we can cause one another without realizing it, because that's a huge part of this, is like the pain we can cause another person without realizing that we're doing anything, because we're not actively engaging in like bullying or abuse in any way. And I say this without feeling like, oh, you have to take responsibility. But I'm just saying it's interesting to think of potential harm we could cause from somebody else just really by being ourselves, or like trying, you know, that there's others who will be kind of hurt, or again, not like a physical hurt, but just like mentally impacted by that, you know, usually through their own sense of inferiority. I'm trying to think of my other word that I just had and it's like gone, but basically through their own complex, how they're hurt by us. And again, that's not saying like I feel like people should take responsibility for that or not do like the best that they can, because that's ridiculous. That wouldn't be living. But it's just interesting to see how we impact each other in this life. You know, how some people can take that jealousy and warp it into more than it should be, instead of just accepting like I am myself and this is the best I can do, like taking it and this person is ruining my life because they're succeeding and I'm not. It's just fascinating to me. I'm like, which means I should stop talking now. Like that was probably enough. But I did find that really interesting. I really liked the series in general for addressing that. And yeah, School Frozen in Time. 4 volumes. You can get them all now. That is it for this video. Until next time. Bye.